I'm going to be showing you some things which I'm not proud of. I have given myself 100 days to sort my life out. It has been a while since I've showed up on YouTube. To be honest, I am my own biggest obstacle, but one of my main goals at the moment is to get out of my own way. I have given myself 100 days to sort my life out, and I want to bring you along with me. It is 100 days until the beginning of 2026. And when I say sort my life out, I'm not talking New Year's resolution style change my life. I am really talking about going in deep on some of the things that are getting in my own way, clear it all out, give myself a fresh start for the new year, and hit the ground running. There being 100 days left of the year felt perfect. It gives me a deadline. I'm turning it into a video series because that is what is going to give me the accountability. If you've never seen a video before, hello, my name is Cyan. I'm a mum of two. I am neurodivergent. I have ADHD, but I have a lot of autism in my family, so I've always had a lot of question marks. That's kind of a sidebar, but it is also relevant because one of the main blockers that I have is my mode of operating, my executive function just really gets in my way. And so I need to actually push myself to complete some of the projects that I've started, to clear out my graveyard of hobbies that I've only half begun, and also to actually focus on what is going to improve my quality of life, what's going to bring value to my life, and just get some of those things ticked off. So I wanted to make a video series out of it because like I said, it's going to hold my feet to the fire a little bit and keep me accountable and hopefully keep me moving forward and give me those blinkers. I can't remember who I was watching actually, but I remember them saying when they do cleaning resets, they achieve so much more when they are recording it because you don't really stop. You're directing yourself. So you're kind of your own voice in the back of your head, like, okay, now we can move the camera here and do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And it really keeps you moving forward and stops you getting distracted in the way that you might if you were just doing that task alone. I guess because you're multitasking when you're filming it and doing it. It sounds quite sad to say you're more driven if you're filming it and sharing it, but obviously there is proof in that pudding because a lot of people are drawn to creating content. And so yeah, here I am doing it. I think it's going to be a little bit of a vulnerable experience for me and a little bit of I guess exposing, not in that way. It will feel quite exposing because I'm going to be showing you some things which I'm not proud of, things that kind of bring me shame, I guess, but I also know that there's a freeing element in sharing those things and finally just being like, look, I'm not perfect, in case anyone was under the impression I was, which I very much doubt that. And hopefully the other thing that sharing it will do is give a bit of power to you if you're feeling the same, if you're feeling a little bit stuck. This definitely isn't going to be like a toxic productivity, change your life completely, implement new habits every day, etc. Like it's just not my vibe, and also it is not the phase of life that I'm in. I am a mum of two babies in the last 4 years. Is that right? Yes, my eldest is going to be 4 in November, so yes, that is right. I'm not going to be able to push myself to implement something that's daily or push myself to change something completely. It's going to have to be me chipping away at things in a really realistic way. My 3-year-old goes to nursery a few days a week, but my just turned 1-year-old is with me all the time. She generally only has 1 nap a day now as well, so my time is limited in that regard. I end up sucked into holes of 23, 24-year-olds who don't have kids, and it's just not actually realistic for me to follow that, obviously. So yeah, being a mum is definitely one of the sort of obstacles, I suppose. I don't want to say obstacles because that sounds horrible, but like it's something that's going to force me to look at my expectations with this process. And the other thing is being neurodivergent, because I have this all or nothing mindset. If I can't like start something and complete it to perfection in one session, which obviously is incredibly unrealistic for the majority of things in the world, that means I just don't do it. And that's a real blocker for me. I will plan everything in great detail, buy everything that I need for a project, and then I get stuck. This video series is hopefully going to keep me moving. We can do it together. If you're in a similar situation where you can think of a few things you would like to tick off before the beginning of 2026, get them written in a list. Let's do it together. So over the next 100 days, 14 weeks, I did Google it, I'm hopefully going to be sharing things that I'm doing to improve. And I've kind of, in my mind, split them into 4 categories. Physical health, mental health, personal. I have so many personal projects that I need to finish off. And also, I do a lot of writing. I only recently gained the confidence to share my writing, and I do have a literary agent. And something that I sent out at the very beginning of 2024 is actually going to be out there in the world in 2026. That's something I can talk about really soon, and I'm so excited for it. There are other projects that I want to tick off and that I'm not committing myself. I'm not being disciplined enough, I suppose. And again, with 2 kids, it is hard to find that time, but I need to. Some of these ideas have been sat in my brain for nearly a decade. I don't want to get to the end of the next decade and realize that I still haven't actually got them finished. They may not ever then become a thing, but I want to get them out of my head, you know? I'm a death by planning kind of person sometimes, and that it isn't great if you want to actually write books. The 4th category is environment, and so that is my home. We weren't really going to stay in this house for very long, or we didn't think we were, but actually we have enough bedrooms here. We're getting to the point now where my eldest, we're thinking about schools for her. Everything just becomes more complicated once they've gone to school. Ever since we've decided we're going to stay put, probably for another 4 to 5 years, it kind of gave me that impetus of like, okay, let's actually improve the space that we have. Some of you who maybe watched my previous videos might remember that I started a little slow reno series and then I got pregnant again. So that very much put a pin in it. Sorry, I just looked at my child on the monitor and she's like standing on her head. What the helly? First things first, I'm gonna write a list. I did write a little list actually in a notebook earlier, but I'm gonna write it for it to go up on the wall. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to put this somewhere where I can easily hide it from any guests. We don't have that many guests. I'm going to put it somewhere that's discreet. I need it visual, and I need it in a way that I can tick it off. So I've got my child's Crayola felt tip. I've got a roll of paper. I'm going to write the list. So yeah, if you are interested in watching these videos, what you're going to see is not your kind of typically structured, this is how to change your life in 100 days situation. That's not the vibe I'm going for. It is very much a journey that I'm going on, and I just want to bring you along in a very informal, casual, chatty way. I always miss making long form content, so documenting it for me felt like a perfect solution to not only keep me accountable, but also just for a bit of fun. That is my plan. I'm going to write my list now and then I'll very briefly talk you through it. My first challenge is actually to not get too obsessed with making this list really aesthetic. I'm the kind of person who would waste time rewriting this list 4 or 5 times. If you are like me, this is your instruction to not do that. We're not going to waste time on making the list pretty, even though I would really like to. I'm going to very quickly take you through what's on it, which does feel a little bit vulnerable, but at the same time, that's the whole point of this process. And if I don't share with you what I actually want to get through, then I could just be making it up, couldn't I? I have basically decided to put on here 1 weightlifting session a week and 1 running. I'm not even going to call it a session because I cannot run that far, but 1 run a week. You might be thinking that's really low. I understand. But if I set myself this as a minimum, just to make sure that that is consistent for the next 14 weeks, especially because I'm trying to tick off quite a few other things, I just think realistically, time-wise, this is going to give me the best chance of success. If I end up doing extra, amazing. But what this will hopefully do is stop me from just having a whole week off, because sometimes I'll just write it off, you know. And I have actually put myself there 14 boxes so that I can actually tick that I did either my run or my weightlifting session in the weeks leading up to 2026. On the mental health side, I have written hypnotherapy and meditation. I used to, I don't know if any of you remember, but I used to be really into my meditation. I was using an app called Balance, and what I really liked about that app is it had courses to basically teach you how to meditate. I also went through a phase of like doing tapping at one point, but both of those things have very much fallen off my radar. So I would like to get back into them when I can. And hypnotherapy is something that I was advised to try. It's meant to be really good for neurodivergent people. It's something that I've wanted to try. I have actually done quite a lot of therapy lately because I did about 1.5 years. It was incredible, but it was talking therapy. It was, you know, working through potential traumas and where they've come from and all of that stuff. And my therapist was so lovely. She was a mum as well, so I feel like she totally got it. She totally got the pressures of postpartum. I think hypnotherapy has a slightly different function in that it's very much about rewiring some of the instantaneous negative physical reactions. You know, when you end up in like a negative thought loop, or your rejection sensitivity is just off the scale and you've got really bad imposter syndrome, you feel like you can't move forward, you feel like you're stuck. Hypnotherapy is supposed to be very good for rewiring some of those pathways and just freeing you up to actually move forward. I very much feel like I'm at that point now where I have so many tools from doing therapy, and I'm really looking forward to trying something to like unlock unblock and unlock the next phase. Actually, I have booked already my first hypnotherapy appointment this evening. So I'm very excited to report back on that. I will share more, I think, when I kind of am into it and know what it is, because at the moment I'm still very much coming from that perspective of I've never done this before. I'm just going on hearsay. So I've already had my intro call. She was really lovely. I've got my first session tonight. It's meant to be an hour to an hour and a half. I will take you on the journey and keep you updated. Then I've got personal. Sorry, I've written this on this piece of paper, which is going to be great once I've like taped it up. But right now, it's not the best for showing you. So that next category, personal, I've got 1 hour of writing per week. And again, that's not going to sound like a lot of time to some people. For me, that's what's realistic. And the reason that I've done it in time is because on 1 week I might decide to do 3 20-minute sessions. On another week I might decide to sit and do a solid hour. It really is going to depend on what kind of week I'm presented with. But if I can do an hour a week, I'll be glad. And actually, when you sit down to do 20 minutes of writing, you often tend to do a lot more anyway. So I think even just having that expectation of an hour will mean that I get more out of it. Again, done my little boxes here just to keep myself accountable week by week. I've also put autumn winter wardrobe. The declutter on the environment side. This is more having a look at what I've got and seeing what I might need or like. Again, I'm in a very sorting out my life phase, so I'm not really going to be purchasing much for like going out and about. Don't really do so much of that, but it would definitely be nice to just get a few new pieces that are really going to fit the gaps that I've got. My last one, hobbies graveyard. That's probably the most vague because I have a few different things that I've semi-started and not finished. I don't know which of them I'm realistically going to pick up in the next 100 days. I'd like to make a start on something, because otherwise this stuff is just in my house, taking up space for no good reason. If I haven't started some of them, the stuff just needs to go. Apologies for my Invisalign mouth, because I'm very much like, I feel like I've got a hockey mouth guard in today. Some aligners fit so snug and you can't even really tell and you don't feel dribbly, and then others seem really gappy. I don't know. Anyway, that's why I'm like, it's giving like nerd in a 90s sitcom. And then my last section was environment. This list could be a lot longer. So if I do manage to get through these things, I will be adding to it. I just need to keep that momentum going. But yeah, I've got my dining area declutter. I will show you this dining area, and it's not pretty. Improve storage. I realise that's a little bit vague, but I have got a few plans that are already in motion that I will talk you through at a later point. Wardrobe declutter. That needs to happen because I'm holding on to things from before I was even pregnant with my first child. Why? I don't know. Because they're not going to fit me. They're not going to even particularly suit me or be what I want to wear. So I just need to get rid of it. I have a lot of stuff that I hold on to like, oh, but maybe I'll wear this out to dinner one day. But the reality is I don't. Or if I do wear it, it's like once a year. So you just cannot be taking up centimetres in your wardrobe for something you're going to wear once a year. So I need to do a massive clear out of all of that. And then kitchen redesign. The word redesign makes that seem like it's a lot more of a professional job than it's going to be. What I really need to do is look at my kitchen, which is very small. Like you could not swing a cat in my kitchen. I need to look at it, look at all the space that I've got, look at all the stuff that I've got, pull everything out, redo it all. When I say redesign, I'm really saying like redesign how we use the space, and also then maybe thinking about the next storage solutions we could potentially get for that area to make it work a bit better for us. Like I said, I can be a little bit death by planning in my approach to things, but I will have to have a think about this and think, okay, where is it going to fit? What am I going to do next? And I'm going to bring you along. So can I do it all? Come on, guys. Of course I can. It's whether I will. Do join along with me if you've got things you want to tick off. I think just take the same approach that I have pretty low expectations, and you will succeed. I'm going to keep you updated on my progress. I'm going to let you know what's worked for me, what has not worked, and hopefully by December, we'll be seeing a list of things that are completely checked off. Signed, sealed and delivered to my future self to hit the ground running in 2026. And if there's anything you want to ask or anything you are going to be doing, I would love to hear about it in the comments. You can like, you can hit the notification button, you can hit subscribe. Any and all of those things mean a lot. I watch YouTube on TV a lot, and I try to go out of my way now to pick my remote up and like the video because it does make a massive difference. So very big thank you if you're bothering to do that. I will see you next time.